Greetings. It is me, the solo gamer. You can call me Matt. And as you can no doubt see, I'm back in Mortal Kombat because PeaceMaker just launched, and I figured, pardon, what better way to test him out than to do a tower with him and see how he plays.
And they call me inappropriate.
While I'm at it, I also figured it was a good time to talk about some stuff that's been happening in the video game industry. A little bit of a stream of consciousness at the moment.
Robo Ninja.
Do it standard here. So, let's get started. Now, while I'm playing, I will be pausing and I will be doing
Tremor.
all kinds of other stuff, so you can expect that to happen. But what I really want to talk about today... Ooh.
This universe would be better off without...
Whoa, hello.
I'm going nowhere, Peacemaker.
Oh, yes, you are. I'm killing you.
Knock on that.
Take one.
There we go. So, let's see. Force multiplier, human torpedo, force field, ground air offensives. Oh, cool. So, yeah. And yes, if you weren't aware, that is in fact John Cena doing the voice work. Honestly, I used to like John Cena before he became a freaking sellout. But at the same token, like his Peacemaker run, his whole Peacemaker thing was absolutely fantastic. So, come here. Ow.
Max.
Take two. Action.
Torpedo.
Nice. Oh, you had that move. Okay, now wait. I have a cameo finisher from Cyrex that I haven't actually managed to try out yet. Okay, so yeah, it's the grapple. That's good. Ow. Ow. I wonder how weird it is for John Cena to see himself getting just wrecked in this. Alright. Oh. Oh.
Let's see Batman do that.
Okay, yeah.
Peacemaker win.
Ow. So, anyway, now that I'm acquainted with Peacemaker's basic stuff here. So, the gaming industry saw a massive shakeup in the last 2 months.
Nice to see you.
The biggest news, of course, being
Karma
6,500 plus, a massive shakeup in layoffs. I don't know the exact numbers for studio, but it's across the grid. All
Better
of
than
them.
pissing away my time.
Now,
Jesus! What the hell?
okay. Now, a big part of that has been that with the massive budgets of games that are coming out now, Spider-Man, Sea of Thieves, or what was it? Skull and Bones, not Sea of Thieves, I'm sorry. And then stuff like the recently released Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It's clear that there's a problem in the industry, one that it does not want to admit to. And that problem is twofold. Well, threefold if you want to be technical. On one hand, the budgets. They are out of control.
Take two.
From what reports we have, Spider-Man 2 alone was $300 million in development. I mean, we're talking something on the order of almost, I don't know, most major movies at that point. Which, to be fair, that is kind of impressive given how much the games have to rely on actual interaction compared to a movie. But there is a problem. What problem might that be? That means they have to sell absolutely insane levels of just sheer, unending numbers. Like, you have to make massive amounts of money for that to work. And if it doesn't, then there's going to be problems.
What the fuck?
Oh no. Oh, this is going to end badly.
What? Little shit.
Damn.
Peacemaker
Fair enough.
wins.
But with the money like that, or another example being Skull and Bones, which has been active, and I mean actively, in development for almost 10 years, how much money have they committed to that at this point? It could never make back what it is, and with it selling so poorly and having such low player rates, it's never gonna. But perhaps the crown jewel of this monumental industry-wide fuck-up, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, would be the recently released Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Or as most of us in the gaming world have come to call it, Shit Squad, we suck at our jobs. I'm sorry, that game's a wreck. It's a mess. Anyone dumb enough to defend it, you deserve the shit garbage you get. It is trash. It has no redeeming quality, and the way it treated its characters is offensive on almost every level. And I've made no bones that I feel that many of the character designs in this game were significant downgrades from their original status. But the sheer amount of absolute bullshittery that game generated is freaking frightening. You can like DC all you want. I used to be a huge comic book fan before they went completely garbage. But at this point, that game is lucky to get 500 players a day, if that. It's a live service game dependent on microtransactions to make any kind of money. And at the amount of money it's spent doing development, there is no chance on earth it is going to survive. So what happens to it now? Well, that's pretty simple. It'll be dead, maybe in a year, maybe 6 months. Depends on if they can get enough whales backing it to keep it going, but I don't see that happening. But you're probably saying, well, does that mean all live service games are bad? No. No, they aren't. Look at Helldivers. I mean, I've been playing it. It's a fucking awesome ride, and I've been having nothing but fun with it. But here's the deal. The whole reason Helldivers works is because it is not dependent on microtransactions to be successful. It has a standard price, a reasonable price, $40, half the cost of either Skull and Bones or Suicide Squad, and its microtransactions are fair, reasonable, and completely cosmetic. Well, kind of cosmetic. That being said, no one can actually claim it's pay to win because the armor's different functions have purpose in game, but they don't break the game or make one particular setup in particularly better than the other. I don't sugarcoat it either. Like, that is,
I hate to do this.
the game is brilliantly
What makes you
monetized.
think you'll get the better of me?
That reminds me, how do I do that force field thing? Alright, force multiplier, human torpedo, anti-gravity, activate force field. Okay, so
Suck on that.
damn it, didn't learn it fast enough. What are some of his good combos? XYB, YYB. Okay. But anyway, getting back on topic.
White.
With Suicide Squad, it's a failure. Whereas Helldivers is basically printing money right now for its studio. So what went wrong? Well, a lot of stuff went wrong. But the two biggest factors were the absolutely absurd monetization that Suicide Squad tried to implement, which I'm not going to sugarcoat. It is absolute just trash tier. Like, it is awful. But perhaps the other side of the coin was the revelation about what happened to the game as it was. It has an awful story. It belittles its characters, especially the Justice League. Like the treatment of them is absolutely offensive to any long-term comic book fan. And what I did with Harley Quinn, with Shark, all of them they're being used as props for ideological garbage. And I'm sorry, it comes off as hackneyed and meaningless. Oh cool, I get to use this super. But it's now come to a head because there was a recent event, development as you will, where a lot of people started questioning, how did this happen? How did a game that was supposed to have such monumental and absolutely, it was supposed to be this monumental DC finale for the Arkhamverse, how did it go so wrong? Well, a lot of people are laying the blame at the feet of a company called Sweetbaby Inc., who are also responsible for a number of other games that had unusual or unexpected changes to them that didn't fit or didn't belong. Black Anchor Boda from God of War Ragnarok, others included. There's a whole list online, but what sort of supercharged the event was a curator on Steam decided to create a curation that basically labels all Sweetbaby games. Any game they're involved with, he marks it, labels it, and puts it out so that people know it's involved and know that they should avoid it. The co-founder of Sweetbaby attacked him, came after him, and tried to get him not only shut down but banned off Steam. It backfired horrifically. I mean, we're talking, he went from a few thousand to 50,000 in a day. Why? Because people saw what these scumbuckets were doing and went to support him. It got so bad that Sweetbaby and their co-founder was dragged through dragged through the mud would not be appropriate, more like dragged through a field of razor wire. It got so bad for them, they privated their Twitter account and have started hiding their information on all social media. It's still up on their website, but they're doing everything they can to hide themselves. Because now they're in the public eye and it's going very poorly for them. So the question becomes, what now? Well, this sort of dovetailed into other factors. The biggest one being the localization issue in the anime community. I don't know if you're familiar, but in the anime community, when a show is translated to another language, it's called localization, which already a lot of people had issues with that. It should just be straight translation as much as possible. But what happened was, over the last 10 years, there's been a string of localizations in which the localizations either massively changed or completely changed characters, story arcs, all kinds of other stuff. And that has not gone over well with a lot of the public. So they've also been getting attacked rather intensely. And the end result was a lot of them have been pushing back, and it's been bad. But then one of their own, a localizer who you may have heard of him if you're familiar with YouTube, Jello Apocalypse. Apparently he works in the localization industry. Who the hell knew? He posted an NDA-breaking diatribe about a project he was working on and how much he hated it. Well, that got found out, posted online, and spread like wildfire. Now, the localization community is essentially marked by this event as being everything that their critics claim them to be. Now, whether that's true or not, you could make the argument, but there's plenty of evidence as to the problem here. You need evidence. There's a whole list on Niche Gamer that shows every major modification made to a game or anime in the last 8 to 10 years, and it's not a small list. So the question now becomes, what happens now? Well, a day or two ago, Crunchyroll announced that they are considering replacing their localization team with artificial intelligence. If not for the massive fallout from these localization issues, I'm pretty sure that discussion would not be happening. But it is. Why? Because the localization team turned what should be the customers into their enemies. And if your job is to make money, turning customers into enemies it's pretty much a fast track to bankruptcy. Don't believe me? Ask Gawker. Ask Vice. Oh, I got a better one. Maybe ask BuzzFeed if you can find anything left of it. And it's not just them, the mainstream media too. Good example being the fact that, according to the most recent rumors coming out of I don't know if it's the Los Angeles or New York office anymore. I forget where they're located anymore, but CNN is apparently considering firing 3 of their top talents: Anderson Cooper, Chris Wallace, and someone else. I don't know who. All things being equal, haven't watched CNN in close to a decade. But the fact of the matter is, they don't have enough of an audience to keep paying these people these multi-million-dollar salaries. So people are going to start getting cut. But what's more interesting is that all 3 that are being targeted, are rabid leftists. All 3 that are being fired are some of the most rabid leftists in the company. Which brings the question, why? Why is that happening? The answer's simple. It's simple. There's no market. Mainstream media is on its deathbed. Fox barely holds on to 1.5 million viewers a day, if that. CNN can't even breach 250,000. MSDNC, and no, I will not apologize for calling them what they are, is lucky to break 150, 200,000 at best. Meanwhile, they scream and shout about all the horrible things that the Republicans are doing while they have some of the most racist and hateful people in the world on their staff. Looking at you, Mark Elias, Joy Reid, Al Sharpton, Rachel Madcow. Nah, you got no room to complain. You're crazy, and everybody sees it, and no one wants to watch you but the most insane leftists. That's just fact. So, now what? What happens now? Well, it all depends, I think, upon what happens in November, because right now, love him or hate him, Trump is the guy to beat. He's 5 points ahead of Biden almost across the board. He's taking huge chunks out of Biden's normal voter base, blacks, and so forth. But on top of that, he's actually taking huge chunks not only out of the black voter base, but Trump has a lead amongst Hispanics, rural, non-college educated whites, both women and men. The only place he leads at any real level is he leads in regards to, well, what is it? I guess you could say he leads in regards to college-educated single white women. And no, that is not a good thing for him. That is a bad situation. But here's the thing. Biden's getting crushed. And the only way he can win, as far as anyone could tell, would be to try and cheat. Which now, 75% of the country thinks he did. At this point, the only way that anything's going to really change is a complete restructuring from the ground up. And I don't mean that lightly. I mean the gaming industry, the media industry, all of it has to be, for lack of a better
What the
term,
fuck?
torn down and rebuilt. And I think what's going to happen long term,
What? Little shit.
yep, is that you're going to see CNN,
PeaceMaker.
MSNBC, and Fox all sold off or completely gutted and restructured. Vice, BuzzFeed, a dozen other companies are all in the gutter or dying. And there's people out there still trying to cite Vox, for God's sakes. Vox is dead in everything but goddamn name.
You can't take me, Pipsqueak.
What is this battle? It is over. The industry has to change. It has to sort of reset. And the whole Sweetbaby thing is sort of the first real indication of it. The gaming industry is going to have to come to terms with the fact that it no longer enjoys the safe, comfortable haven that it did 10, 15, even 20 years ago, when it was a relatively small but growing market. Now it's so big, it suffers the same problems that, the movie industry or the television industry has. It has to change. Now, you want to see what happens if you don't change? Go ask Disney. Oh wait, better hurry. They're about to be bought out by other people because they've been run so poorly for the last 5 years. They lost 60% of their market value. $1 billion over the last year in box office alone, and who knows how many billions in regards to what they've spent on Disney Plus. And all that's fact. That's all financial data. I mean, you want to argue. There's plenty of places to find it, but the reality of it is, even the media is calling Disney a dead company walking now. And the fact is, they can't come back under the current leadership. The only way you're saving that company is a massive, and I mean gigaton level revamp. Oh, he's dead. But there's no other way. And the same thing is true of gaming. Sweetbaby and companies like it must be just removed and blacklisted from existence. Period. There can be no two ways about it. And unfortunately, my biggest concern is that while right now there's momentum, it's going to be just another Gamergate all over again. The only difference now is that, unlike when Gamergate happened, the media enjoys no such respectability as it did back then. Even back then, it was starting to lose respectability in the fringes, but it didn't have the same level of sheer unbridled hatred for it in the mass that it does now. Anyway, let's check out the ending, then I'll wrap up.
Project Starfish? Project Butterfly? Crazy Town. Both of them. But neither was as fucked up as Project Magician. I was way over my head with Eclipse. I mean, the dude's a goddamn god. Somehow, though, I got his back to the wall. Freaked him out so bad, he cast a spell that sent me here. I guess he thought sending me here would finish me? But I tell you, I feel like I've come home. This place is peace. Bad. And like me, folks here will do whatever it takes to get it. So bring on Shao, Reiko, and those dickhead sorcerers. I'll drop them all first chance I get.
Okay, that was good. That was good. Credit where it's due to... Definitely credit where it's due to NetherRealm on that one. Not a bad run. But anyway, finishing up where I left off. The industry's at crossroads. Many in it are already declaring that crash is inevitable, and they may be right. If you're a gamer and you want this industry to continue to be strong, to grow, to improve, to be, successful, it's not about expansion right now. It's about reversal. It's about returning to the industry's roots and resetting it to something more, what's the best term, I suppose? More focused, I guess is the word I would use. Yeah, focused. Focus is what's missing here. Focus is the problem. The gaming industry spread itself too wide, too far, too thin. And now, in an industry that is facing annihilation, or at the very least, massive cutbacks, the first thing that must be done is strip away anything that is not beneficial. And companies like Sweetbaby and their ilk, people like Anita Sarkeesian, Sam Maggs, all these other scum who infested the gaming industry for years and drove away the customers that had made gaming what it was, they need to go. They need to be deleted. Not specifically like deleted, but they need to be removed from the industry, blacklisted, shunned, pushed aside. There's just no other way to say it. You might think that's mean or cruel, I don't care. You want this industry to live, the only way it can is to cut the cancer that is eating it alive out. Sweetbaby is the biggest tumor there is. There's others that need to go, but that's where it starts. Make an example of them, and others will follow. Now, that being said, I do feel like there has to be a turn here, a switch in perspective. Right now, biggest game running is goddamn Helldivers. It's simple, it's fun, it's, you know, it's constantly growing and advancing. It has a massively supportive and directly involved community. Hell, it's gotten to the point now where even senators and politicians have recognized the intensity of this community's passion and flair and recognizes that there is a real, connection to be formed here. And I think that's a sign that gaming, the quote from the creators of Helldivers is, when you make a game for everyone, you make a game for no one. They didn't make some glorified looter shooter online service pile of garbage like Suicide Squad. They made a focused PvE co-op shooter and then said, what will make it stand out? Let's take this as far over the top as they can let us. And they did. And it worked. And then they didn't do anything stupid like bad monetization or horrifically bad character storylines. Hell, the game barely has a story as it is. Yet the story of the game plays out in the game itself because as the Helldivers liberate, planets or lose planets, the world of the game changes to match. Turns out there's actually someone guiding that story, an actual employee who goes in and makes modifications to the game as it's progressing. Reducing enemy troops at a point or adding them to another. Invading a world with enemies or putting out summons to seek reinforcements for a world that's under siege. There's someone actively engaged in that with the community. Hell, the CEO engages with the community all the time. What do the people behind Suicide Squad do to engage with the community? Oh, someone doesn't like our game because we did a horrible job with it. Let's attack them. Let's not apologize for our horrible agenda-pushing bullshit or garbage character writing or rancid dialogue. No, let's not admit to any of those faults. Oh no, that would require some level of self-reflection and internal, the ability to internalize mistakes. Something these people obviously can't do. No, that's the problem. We have an industry full of narcissists and egotists, let's call him what he is, Neil Cuckman, who just recently announced, I don't think I'll be doing any games anymore. Really? Good. That's a great news for the industry. It means we won't get any more of your shitty remastered garbage. But I could probably go on like this for days. Talking about other games that groups like Sweetbaby had damaged or infected in some way or the other. at the end of the day, the only way this industry survives is to push these people out. You don't make games for them because these people don't buy your games. You make games for gamers. And as we've seen, when you fail to make games for gamers, you fail to make money, your company collapses, and you go out of a job. Well, hopefully Sweetbaby goes under and takes all of its stupid garbage with it, and the gaming industry will learn the lesson and not repeat the mistake. My other hope is that the momentum of this will continue, that this won't just be a flash in the pan, that gamers will continue to push forward and drive this home. Excuse me. And drive this home to the industry that we will not tolerate this any further. You do not get to treat us so horribly and then beg us to come back to support your games. That's not how this works. That being said, I think I've rambled on long enough for now. Appreciate you joining me while I checked out PeaceMaker and gave him a try. Gonna probably use him in the invasion. He's fun, but a little bit hard to work with. I still gotta figure out his force field shit. But he's still an interesting character, and as much as I don't like John Cena being a sellout, he does do good work with the character's voice. Definitely enjoy his flippant, hilarious humor, so fair enough. But again, if you're a gamer and you want this industry to survive, then you need to join us who have started pushing back. I don't know if this will ever reach anyone or if it'll reach anyone in time for there to be a difference, but someone has to move forward. And if the gaming industry wants to keep alive and move forward, we have to push it that way. So, in any case, I'm going to cut it off here. This is Matt, the Solo Gamer. And next time, I'm going to be doing some hell diving. See you then.